Hi guys, Lita here from Art with Lita. Welcome back to my channel. And today, you guessed it, I'm making something pretty. Come along with me for the ride. These are some chili peppers that I saw hanging at an outdoor market in New Mexico, actually in Albuquerque, New Mexico, when I was there not that long ago. And I thought they would make the absolute perfect painting. I mean, just look at them, all those colors and the shadows and the highlights, and they were just beautiful. I do apologize for the first part of the footage of this video being missing. I thought I had turned my camera on, but evidently I had not. So it's gone. That footage is gone. But that's okay because this video is long enough as it is. Back to the chili peppers. When I first set out to sketch out these things, it was quite intimidating, to tell you the truth. They were just going every which way, and I had to make sure I was doing each and every single individual chili pepper. One thing I am working on is my sketching ability, and so I did not trace these. I did everything by hand, just looking at the reference photo. I believe it's a good skill to have. I have nothing against people that trace. I did it myself for many, many years, but you know, it's just a good feeling to know that you can look at just about anything and yeah, you can draw that. You can draw that without help. I think that's just pretty cool. I do have my Ohuhu water markers out to do this. I thought it was a good project to test them out. I'm not that experienced with water markers, so I wanted to see how these things layer and how I can work with them. And let me tell you, they are just a dream to work with. I was able to put down an underlayer. If you pay attention as I'm doing this, first I'm putting down an underlayer, and then I'm going over the top of it with red. I'm not doing that with every single pepper, but with any pepper that was like red but had a greenish undertone or a brownish undertone, I was able to very easily achieve that. So they layer beautifully. They look just absolutely gorgeous. And what can I say? They're really nice markers. Something I think I've used them enough now that if you want to get into marker art, but you don't want to pay the big bucks for the alcohol markers, go ahead and get these Ohuhu Pupe markers. That is literally their name. Here you can see an example of me putting down an undertone and then going in with a green color this time on top as I'm building the color in this pepper. And it's just really neat to be able to do that with markers. It's the feature I didn't know I needed to have. When I got these, I knew absolutely nothing about working with markers. You know, the only experience I had ever had was those really cheap ones that come in children's sets. But let me tell you, these are nice. And they come in a nice package as well that keeps them all organized, which means that it's going to be easy to travel with them. I travel a lot. Every year we travel to Africa, and we also travel to Europe every single year for months at a time. So these are going to be easy to take with me, which is nice. You can see I'm getting the shadow in there. It was really neat. They had all these shops selling all this stuff, and then there was, you know, the little outdoor shop that had all these chili peppers hanging. But there was this, what do you call it, a mariachi band singing. I think I pronounced that correctly. They were singing song after song, and people out walking their dogs, and oh my goodness, it was really neat. It was a really neat experience. It took me forever to do this painting, just one little chili pepper at a time, but it was a nice forever, because my supplies were so nice to work with. That's my little cheapo acrylic. Oh no, actually, that's not my cheapo acrylic. That was my Artix acrylic marker. For a moment, I thought it was my one from Walmart. That's my Artix marker. I'm putting the highlights in with that, but it's only semi-opaque, or I guess I should say it's semi-transparent. So for most of the highlights, I do have to go in more than once to get a sharp enough highlight on these peppers. One thing I learned about New Mexico is that they have this chili pepper dish, which they serve with absolutely everything. They take red and green chilies and cook them down somehow or another, and they'll serve it with absolutely everything. And boy, is it good. You can actually order it online, which I'll probably have to do after doing this voiceover, bringing back all those good memories. As I'm doing this, I'm kind of sectioning off the sketch into portions or into sections, and I'm concentrating on just completing that section before I move on. That way it gives me the impression that I'm making real progress. That's something you can do whenever you have a very big project in front of you, and for me, this was a big project. Working with these markers for the first time and doing such a complicated piece. You can section it off into little portions and then just fill in that little portion. You don't have to look at the whole project, at the whole picture. You don't have to let yourself be concerned about everything else. All you focus on is that one little portion, and basically, you're tricking your brain into thinking you're making far more progress than you are. And you'll see in no time, you'll be most of the way there, like I am here. There I am putting in, it's kind of like a brownish orange color as the undertone for this pepper. I'm not sure if it's ultimately going to be a red, or I guess it's going to be a red. And I get that in. This pepper is also green, so I'm able to put that green in, and the green would normally be a very bright green, but because I was able to put down that brown orangey undertone, it tones down the vibrancy of the green and just makes it something a little bit more realistic. And you can see I put down a very dark color on top of that, and I know it doesn't show up in the video, but that color is still showing through those layers, it's really nice because you're able to build your color and just get a depth and a richness of color that wouldn't be possible. Like, say, if these were acrylic markers, it wouldn't be possible to get such a richness of color. You know, growing up in Romania, they would braid garlic and hang it like this. They would also braid onions and hang it to be stored over the winter. I don't think I ever braided any myself, but I would see it in people's houses all the time. New Mexico, they braid chili peppers. I was particularly proud of how this piece turned out. I'm pretty new to food art, and this turned out so nice. You might start seeing more foodie stuff showing up on the channel, especially if I get to do it with these beautiful Ohuhu markers. You can see me kind of switching back and forth. Pretty uncertain with this particular chili pepper. What do I do with it? What color do I make it? You can see there how I put down green and then I went over it with red, and then I went over it with my shadow color, which is a very dark red. And believe it or not, I know it's not that visible in the video, but that green does show through the other two layers because these markers are on the transparent side. Whenever you're building shadows and stuff, don't think to yourself, oh, I'm coloring in a chili pepper. It'll look like this. What you need to do is to look at the shapes. What shape does this shadow have? What shape does this color have? And then you make the shape. And as you add those shapes onto your canvas, you'll see that it'll come together and it will look right. But if you go in thinking, oh, I'm making a nose on a face or a cake or whatever it is you're making, a lot of times it'll turn out looking just a little bit off because what brains perceive objects to be isn't necessarily true. That's why it's always better. Always look for the shape of something, the shape of the shadow, the shape of the light, the shape of the different colors that are going to be there. And you'll have a much better design at the end of the day. I am working in my Stillman and Birn sketchbook for this. I absolutely love Stillman and Birn. I discovered it, I want to say maybe a little over a year ago. And so far, I'm telling you, so far the sketchbook has taken everything I've thrown at it. It's even these layers and layers I'm putting down. The paper didn't pill, the paper didn't start to show signs of damage. Just really, really good quality. And, because these sketchbooks are a little bit more on the expensive side, I always color both sides of the paper to get full use out of it. if I ever wanted to get any of these paintings on the wall, I think I would just take a picture of them and get it printed and just do a printout and leave the original alone in the sketchbook because it's better protected there. I haven't done it yet, but I'm thinking about it. I have several drawings now, several paintings that I really like that I might take pictures of and just get it printed out. I even printed out a few things on my cheapo little home printer and they look great. So I can't imagine how nice it would look if I actually took it to a place to get it professionally printed. And I know there's things online these days where you can have it printed on canvas and turned into posters and all kinds of stuff. The thing is, with those, you have to wait so long to receive them. These print-on-demand sites, you have to just wait forever. Last time I ordered something, it took over a month for the things I ordered to arrive. So I'm pretty hesitant to try and use print-on-demand anymore. I mean, the quality's okay, but just having to wait for so long for something, it's not for me. I'd rather just do it myself. Alright, I'm starting to get to the end of my chili peppers now. This is where I'm going to sign off. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. It does help my channel. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do when it comes to your art. You want to try drawing a bunch of chili peppers with an art supply you've never really used before? Have at it. Go do it. And always be blessed. Lita out. you.